Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the SPL. My name's F-Dot, and I've traded in a Hindu man for an Adonis.
Clearly an upgrade. Clearly an upgrade. There is no way this is even a side grade. Hindu man, he's just too British.
Major misplay out of Adonis right there.
No, I'm Kevin. I'm not Brandon. And
Either
it's
way,
huge misplay.
welcome back. And we've got Team SoloMid for you
It's
next. They're going to be
enormous
taking on Cognitive Gaming. I'm just not listening to you at all. But I am listening to the guys from Team SoloMid, and they're going to be on your screen in just a couple of seconds. And we can look at this roster that's been very strong up until now.
Winners of the summer fun. Not up until now. Still now.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I described to you how dominant this roster has been in North America on the esports show last week or earlier this week. Snoopy right now has been, I believe, on fire. I released power rankings recently, and no matter where you put a lot of people, some people were arguing. Not a single person said that Snoopy was not the best hunter in the world. I got very few right now people who don't believe that, outside of maybe some Reels people. But Snoopy's ROM specifically has been on point. I mean, it's been on point so much, I could actually expect COG to ban it out. That's how strong.
I completely agree. Snoopy's been out of this world. Cognitive Gaming, though, previously had a different lineup this time around in the fall split. They'll be bringing along a lot of familiar faces, but it's probably the first time that you'll see them together in this split. Kabam, Aurora, the best, DJ Pernicus, and Meerkat.
The best for me is the rock for this team. You even take a look at their losses. The best KDA is always there, and I don't know how the comms are, whether the best maybe isn't fully committed to the fights, but at the very least, he's always coming out positive. The best has always been up there in damage. He's making big plays, but the team as a whole hasn't joined together. I still think it's like a bunch of pieces that haven't fully meshed. I think when this team meshes, though, they're going to be good. This time, though, they're facing off against Team SoloMid. They could make these some interesting games.
Sure.
There's a possibility.
I'm with you. On paper, this team is very, very strong, specifically the core of Aurora, Best, and DJ Pernicus. Now, Meerkat and Kabam are by no means any slouches, but Aurora, Best, and Pernicus have had success in the past. They're veterans of the scene. I mean, they've been around for a long time. They've been successful for a long time. So I expect, as you said, when this team starts to mesh, that you'll start to see something better.
Surprisingly, we see Freya banned out. Maybe some research done by the teams. We haven't seen Snoopy play too much Freya, but always a god that's in his god pool. Wukong banned out by Team SoloMid. If you're not first pick, you can't let that one through.
Yeah, I mean, we see this ban almost every single time from the number 2 slot.
There it
is. There's the ROM ban that you were asking for. I completely agree with this. Sometimes you have to go off script, and Snoopy has been playing almost above his own skill level here of late with this ROM, specifically with the ultimate.
Last ban coming through for Team SoloMid. Are they going to look to ban out one of the top tier supports? They aren't first pick. That would likely go to the other way, but no, it's going to be Ares, and that is in Europe, I would say this is standard banning out this, but in North America, this is targeted at a player, not necessarily the god. And Aurora has been playing Ares since Season 1, one of the few North America players to play it outside of Shadowq, and he always seems to make it work. First pick locked in. It's going to be Bellona going to Cognitive Gaming.
Yeah, that Ares just fits the play style of Aurora. Don't be surprised to see something off-brand coming out in that support role. Might be the Bellona, but
this is going to Meerkat. I am almost 100% certain this will end up in Meerkat's hand at the end of this picks and bans phase.
Meerkat plays him. That's the Meerkat's most played god of all time. Basically, picked him 6 times thus far. Thus far. But Aurora, to me, like what comes to mind with Aurora is Fenrir.
Yes.
Like Fenrir support, a Wheelish support. These are the gods that Aurora likes to take out, so no surprise that Ares is his as close to normal as you can get.
Geb and Thor are going to be locked in for Team SoloMid. Thorgars is back in full swing. I mean, you take a look at his most recent games, and Gars has just been on point. Every ult is perfect. Every auto attack cancel is perfect. And also, Team SoloMid and AFK also, they believe Geb right now is the strongest support in the game next to Athena, but they believe that Geb is the pure counter to Athena, so we do see that picked up if both options are available. But that does leave Serqet open, and that's going to DJ Pernicus.
Yeah, Serqet will be played by the DJ, and Janus going to be picked up for the middle laner. Best will most likely be the one on this Janus.
Next pick coming in for Team SoloMid. Hunter pick is available for them, or they could look for the mid laner, and it's going to be the Boosh on Agni. This has been his go-to god, I believe, for a lot of the summer and fall split especially.
Yeah, very, very, very strong. A lot of times when you hear Boosh, you think other gods, but quietly, almost, Agni has really risen to the top.
Bans coming through here, Team SoloMid looking for what they want to take out, and they grab the Geb, and with Cognitive not electing to pick up Athena, they're just going to take it out. They take the best support, and they ban away a very targeted one, and then the other top-tier support, leaving Cognitive with something that they may not have preferred.
Well, I mean, as I said before, I mean, this might hurt the team synergy in general, but Aurora has absolutely no problem playing something a little bit weird. Hades going to be banned out by Cognitive Gaming onto Team SoloMid because of what Divios has been doing with it lately. Undefeated, 8 for 8, 4.0 KDA on Hades. 8 for 8, 4.0 KDA.
Don't give the kid Hades. That is very clear.
It is a scary stat.
Divio's pick still up. Not anymore, though. He's going to be playing Sun Wukong, leaving Snoopy to have the counter pick in that Hunter role.
Interesting.
Cognitive looking to draft both their support and Hunter. It looks like they saved their dual lane for last here. Snoopy's going to get a very good look and know exactly what he's going to go up against before he goes in. Sylvanus is still available, but we've seen what Gars does against low mobility supports. It may not be something they're too inclined to pick. Bacchus is an option that has a lot more mobility. Could help him here. I don't know if Cog wants to go that, though. Xbalanque locked in for Kabam.
I'm waiting with bated breath here. Kabam.
It could be Fenrir too, right? No, it's gonna be Sylvanus. Okay.
Yeah, there it is. Sylvanus picked up for Aurora, so something a little more standard than I would have liked to see, but the Sylvanus will be a great, great, great pickup into this lineup for sure.
I'm expecting Gars to put a lot of pressure on Sylvanus early on. I really am.
Of course.
Snoopy getting this last pick in order. Apollo is available, but that is not an Apollo. That is that's a Kali, who is not a hunter, but could potentially be going hunter. And actually, I see this going to no one else but Snoopy, right? Yeah. Boosh, Agni mid, Sun Wukong, Sol. I mean, that makes the most sense as Kali ADC. We have seen this, and if this is, I give full credit to Peckies. Peckies, he loves this, and he's been preaching Kali forever to people, and it is going to be Snoopy on it. Yeah, and I'm getting word from production right now. Peckies told Snoopy a couple nights ago to do this. And this works, right? Especially if you get early kills and an early lead, you could snowball very hard with Kali. Also, Kali excels with items. She excels the later she goes. She doesn't put out a lot of pressure like a Serqet or Thor will.
Which is why we see her sometimes brought into the solo lane.
Yes.
Just time to build up.
It's a very ranked thing to do. But it does work. And Snoopy, we always talk about it. He's the innovator. Last season, he played Vulcan and Mercury. He was really the only players to do that and make them work. Other players experimented with stuff. Snoopy made it work. If there's anyone who's going to make this work, it's going to be Snoopy.
Exactly. When it comes to off-brand hunters, now excluding Kronos and Freya because they're sort of similar.
They've been in and out.
They're in hands, right? When it comes to things that don't quote-unquote belong in the hunter role, like the Vulcans, like the Poseidons, like all that nonsense, is usually out of Snoopy's camp. And I say the word nonsense, but Snoopy makes me eat my words because he somehow wins with it. Now, Kali, I see a little bit more. You have the wave clear with the lash, and you're really able to do what you want. Now, the problem for me is what happens when Kali's target is the solo laner and you're just stuck?
It doesn't matter. She's just looking for farm right now. She's not trying to get kills. If she gets one, it's one thing. Here's what I predict in this lane to happen. First of all, Kali Geth have, no clear. Especially against the Sylvanus and Xbalanque, they're going to get pushed to their tower. But what this is going to do is it's going to allow or not allow Serqet to gank because they will be at their tower. And also they have to fear for Gars ganks. So if we see Sylvanus and Kabam, if we see this dual lane from Aurora Kabam push up, that only allows Gars opportunities to farm their lane.
Aurora does get the pull very, very early on onto Snoopy. Damage goes onto Ionic, though. Kabam just a hair behind as far as the placement that he was in the lane. Aurora pushed all the way up without Kabam.
Yeah, the jungle's going to be a big thing in here, and this is what I expect. Aurora, the push is too strong. Ionic and Snoopy aren't going to be able to do anything. They're going to take a lot of poke early on, and Kabam actually hitting darts on both players there, and I expect to see a lot of lost gold, but a lot of jungle rotations from both of these teams.
Well, right now the junglers are still in the middle lane as per usual. No surprise here, folks. Basically, here in our fall split, what winds up happening, very choreographed beginning, is essentially jungles will clear out the jungle. Instead of joining their solo laner like we've seen for so long, they'll actually join their mid laner. From there, they'll go ahead and clear out back camps and mid harpies and almost all the way up to level 4 or 5.
So Gar's right now doing red buff with Boosh, and you can already see Xbalanque and in that duel lane, you can see them backing off, because without that vision, they have to be wary for ganks. And basically the threat of Thor is what's going to keep Snoopy it's going to allow him to keep farming this lane.
Just because of the Thor presence itself.
Because Kabam and Aurora are going to be scared. They can't push up too much at risk of getting ganked.
I mean, Kabam's playing a similar game to Kali in the sense that he just wants to farm up as well. You're not going to be seeing, it's not a Medusa or an Anhur where he wants to fight 10 minutes in, so to speak. He really wants to wait in order to get these items and levels to come online as well.
Divios already pushed out of his lane by Meerkat, you can see in the mid lane. Team's just continuing to farm. Gar's just hitting level 5. DJ Pernicus should be able to hit it here. But both teams so far, no real aggression, no invades coming out.
No kills yet either. Divios did not opt to back. Whether or not he was stopped by Meerkat or just changed his mind, not too sure. Meerkat has been able to keep Divios in check up until this point. And I stress up until this point. But left-hand side, you've been talking about Thor visiting the dual lane a lot. Thor will be walking up that lane. Don't know if that means he's going to head there, but that's certainly where he's thinking about going.
Kabam just hitting level 5 though, and yeah, Garz, you saw him peering over there, but he's far enough back in this lane that Garz isn't going to be able to gank him for free.
Yeah, Garz took that path up just in case.
Look at Divios' health. He knows exactly how much damage Meerkat can put out. And here it goes. Actually, Meerkat just going to bait the ult from Divios. He misses Eagle's rally and just going to back off. Divios going to be able to heal up a lot of the poke he took and land back in lane. He wants to stay in this lane as long as possible so he can finish his mystical mail.
Well played by Divios right there.
Garz.
Just go ahead and dodge. Garz on the right-hand side, looking for Meerkat. He's going to go ahead and clear the buff first. Ionic in tow as well, so 2 members of Team SoloMid here in the Cognitive Gaming solo jungle. And instead of even looking for the gank, they're content with just taking the buff off of the map. Meanwhile, Cognitive Gaming will clear out the left-hand Harpies.
Pretty slow game so far, but Garz, once again, he's going to put pressure on a Meerkat. Eagle's rally not up, but with Divios so low and no mana, he's not going to be able to kill the Bellona by himself. He needs Divios to be a little bit healthier before he goes for a gank, just relieving the pressure off with that rotation.
Right Harps go to TSM. And as we said, pretty slow game right here. Cognitive Gaming with a very slight lead that's largely the result of Kali being pushed back on her tower so much in the early levels. Now that she's got a couple of points put into that lash, she should be able to clear the wave a little bit more efficiently and should, as a result, see a little bit less gold lost to tower.
Cognitive Gaming continuing to sit on the bottom half of the map. And Team SoloMid also, outside of that blue invade, not electing to be aggressive. They're playing for the mid to late game. They have the Kali, they have the hyper carry. They also have a lot of control in their lineup as well. They have Thor ult, they have Thor stun, they have Divios with knockups and slows, Ionic with Cataclysm and knockups, the Boosh with the stun. They have a lot of heavy CC to lock down these players in these mid-game teamfights. That's also going to allow Snoopy to find his target.
I also see a lot of counter-initiate as well. If Cognitive Gaming gets rolling and gets a Eagle's rally into a Cobra's Kiss out of DJ Pernicus, able to really disrupt things with Thor walls and Agni stuns. So Team SoloMid have sort of all of their bases covered with this draft.
Yeah, and now with Mystical Mail online, Divios is going to have a much better matchup in this lane.
It's a different game in that solo lane once you build the Mystical Mail completely. Almost, I mean, true for all solo laners, but almost especially for Sun Wukong.
Gar is just looking for the hammer in mid lane. You can see Ionic outside of that first laning phase. He hasn't made a return back to the dual lane. Could find it here, though. Kabam pushing up a little bit, but Ionic's right on a ward. He knows this gank is coming.
Because of that, Kabam will play it a little bit safe. Walk back to tower. Gonna have to use Rising Jaguar and pop a pot, but safe nonetheless. Meerkat gonna go ahead and hit Divios for a decent amount of damage, but Divios in the ultimate able to chase. Eagles rally used defensively to get Meerkat out of dodge. Divios is very low with the ultimate down. In comes the jungler, DJ Pernicus. Cobra's Kiss is the
He didn't get the
dot
auto.
enough.
He didn't get the auto off. Deathbane is
There
going to
it
be
is.
up, though, and that's going to finish it. Meanwhile, though,
First
Gold
blood.
Fury started for Team SoloMid, recognizing that gank is coming through, but it doesn't look like they want to commit too hard. They're just trying to bait a roar and place Ionic. He's going to miss Cataclysm, and Snoopy misses the jump also.
Snoopy does get a shield, so not in as much trouble as it might have seemed. But First Blood going the way of Cognitive Gaming on the right-hand side of the map. Team SoloMid unable to capitalize on the lack of weight near Gold Fury. They try to go for it. They try to get a stop, but unfortunately, Ionic a little bit off the mark. 7 minutes in, Cognitive Gaming with a lead.
They're going to start up these mid-Harpies here. It looks like the Harpies have just been traded out most of the game. Gar's now rotating over to the solo lane. Wukong's going to be fighting onto Meerkat here. Meerkat trying to get away. A blink in by Gar's. Meerkat, no ult available, not going to be able to escape. Ionic's rotated to this too, but here comes the Janus ult.
Meerkat all by himself. There's a lot of members, and here comes the rest of Team Solo. Here comes the rest of Cognitive Gaming trying to respond to the response. Divios might be looking at his second kill in that many minutes, but he'll be able to get out no problem. Thor in the air, going to land on Meerkat. Down goes the Meerkat to the kill of the Boosh. 1-1 are the kills. Team SoloMid answers back with fervor in the solo lane.
Game starting to slow down once again, though, and so much pressure into the solo lane. I mean, Meerkat's been doing a fantastic job of stalling out Divios.
I mean, the reason DJ was able to get that kill was because of Meerkat able to fight Divios. Meerkat has been looking very strong here in the solo.
He's been matching up very well against this Wukong. It's something he clearly plays. And Meerkat has gotten a lot better to where he can compete with these high-level solo laners. Maybe not beat them clean, but he is not going to get beat. He's also probably one of the more map-aware solo laners we've seen. We even see he recognizes the pressure that the top teams like AFK and Cloud9 put on a solo lane.
Sure.
He's always wary of ganks, and he's always stands tall. He understands the damage output that enemies can put onto him.
Exactly. He's really, I like what you said, though, how he's sort of like grown. We got to watch him all the way back on the Rambozos, and then he played on this old Cognitive roster with Homie Effie, and now on the newer Cognitive roster, it's sort of like he's taken a page out of every time he's been on one of these competitive teams. He's learned and he's grown. And here in the second iteration of Cog, his sort of third or fourth time playing around in competitive, really looking like a person that belongs here and is ready to share the spotlight.
Gars, they're looking for a gank in the mid lane. Cataclysm beats is going to be used by the Best, but the double tap hits Best, just trying to go down the corner, and he will. Gets through the portal just in time.
Janus, Aurora going for the blind pull, doesn't grab it. Nice try. Team SoloMid uses a lot there in the mid lane.
They're going to be pressuring this tower.
Best. There's no minions here for Cog. Oh, that's a good double tap into the Berserker's Barrage, but maybe a little bit too deep, as Cog will secure that kill off of DJ Pernicus's damage over time. Great ultimate, great play coming out from Cog, 2-1.
That was all Pernicus right there. I keep calling him Pernicus. That was all DJ Pern there. He was able to taunt out the Berserker's Barrage. Best was as good as dead if that CC didn't come through, so fantastic play by him.
DJ Pernicus, and that's sort of what we expect out of the Pern Burn. Really able to really able to go ahead and help out his teammates as much as he is
Eagles rally.
Able to be aggressive. Meerkat in a little bit of trouble. Divios, smart decision by Meerkat to jump over that wall.
So that's actually the power of high-level solo laners there. Divios didn't land down immediately because he thought Meerkat was going to Eagles rally over the wall instantly. He knew he wasn't going to be able to secure the damage because he respects Meerkat's play, and he knows that as a high-level solo laner, he's not going to be able to just cheek him out there.
Right.
But actually, Meerkat was at a bad spot on the wall and couldn't find the Eagles rally over. If Divios ended up landing down, he would have taken him out. And they're actually, you don't see, right? Divios respect. You can see that's the respect that Divios had. He knew that Meerkat's reactions would have been enough, so he would have rather healed up in the ultimate.
Yeah.
Didn't recognize, though, that spot on the wall he couldn't jump over perfectly.
It's the mind games that come out, the thoughts about the thoughts that have, and that's really what solo lane tends to be about. It's all about these small decisions that wind up either going your way or not. DJ Pernicus and Meerkat will go ahead and clean up his buff. Divios will poke his head in, but he's not alone. Thor is right here as well, so Cog has to be careful.
Pern recognized that this is a spot that Garz is probably going to gank or look to counter jungle. And he pulls it, and then he just sits there and watches. He doesn't get it low. He doesn't allow it to get low enough for Garz to walk in and steal it. When he finally sees Garz, he just backs off, and then at that point, all of Cog is ready to rotate. Garz knows it, and he can't force it.
Yeah, Best even shows up to he throws a single basic at the camp. It's not about the damage that Janus is going to deal to the camp. It's about the damage that Janus could deal to the opponent. Kabam! In a little bit of trouble, Snoopy forced into the ultimate as he deals damage underneath the tower. The dual lane has been quiet thus far, but that's pretty much what you're going to expect out of a late game hunter like Xbalanque versus Kali. But trouble for Garz.
The snipe comes through. One more tick. Not going to be enough. Last breath won't finish off that. And that was a bit unfortunate. Aurora ulted, but at the same time, we saw the Geb shield come out. Just enough sustain or enough defense to keep him alive.
The trifecta for Cognitive going to find their way into the mid lane. Support jungle mid is really the core of teams these days. You find them a lot in the middle lane. Like to group up. A little bit of sharing camps. Divios getting aggressive onto Meerkat.
Meerkat hasn't really been able to sustain in this lane ever since Divios picked up that Mystical Mail. You could see Meerkat's working on his own Mystical Mail, but since he went the boots first, Divios has that leg up and extended a slight gold lead to about 300.
I'm looking at the experience, though. He's a level and a half down to the King of the Monkeys right now.
It's bad, but it's not too bad in that sense. I'm looking more at the gold because once fights break out, I think 1 to 2 level difference isn't that big of a deal.
Sure, especially given the nature of these gods. It's all about the Roma Invicta and sort of the team fight setup from these solo laners.
Yes.
They're not Habwas like
they're
we
not
saw
the like
last
I
match.
need an extra level on my ult, or I need an extra level on my water hands to finish someone off. I'm doing a lot of damage. Team SoloMid, though, they're starting up Gold Fury. They forced out Kabam's ult and Cog. They don't seem to know about it, but with the boost rotating over, they smell it out now. Are they going to be there in time? No. TSM sneak a Gold Fury under Cog's nose.
No vision for Cognitive Gaming on that objective there. We take a look at the wards placed. Team SoloMid has both their jungle and their support up top. Sylvanus, Aurora's placed 4.
Wait, the Boosh has placed a ward?
Stop the press.
Before 15 minutes? This is unheard of.
Meerkat in a little bit of trouble again from Divios. That Mystical Mail still
he's in trouble.
Damage from all sources coming out from Divios. He's going to be stopped from basic attacking, but that doesn't stop the slow. And the rest of the team waiting over the wall. Garz gets credit for the kill. Divios does all the work. Team SoloMid with another kill. We'll look towards the solo lane tower, and this one will fall 14 minutes in.
That's going to be free. And you could see the planning of that. Actually, Snoopy just barely got back in time. You saw DJ rotating to that tier 1 tower on the left. That was clearly a plan because the same thing happened 5 minutes ago where Meerkat ulted over that wall after he took enough poke, but this time Garz was there waiting.
This time not going to be able to get out of there.
Divios.
Much like Divios finds his way all the way on the other side of the map on the dual lane side. Kabam and DJ Pernicus do what they can, but unable to take down TSM Solo that finds his way on the other side.
Scoreboard, about a 1K gold lead coming out for Team SoloMid, but they did secure Gold Fury. That's where the majority of it is. You could see Cognitive trying to work it back. 1,500 experience lead for TSM as well. Most notably in the solo lane where Divios 2 levels up.
Mid lane back, 4 members of Cognitive Gaming, or Team SoloMid rather, in the middle lane, looking for more. Aurora just barely missing the pull, so no aggression quite yet for Cognitive, but TSM will go ahead, hit the gas, and look at the mid lane tower. Xbalanque ultimate is used to help out this aggression, but the tower's already falling. Ionic gets a couple of stuns out, but Cognitive able to escape. Aurora falls down. Thor says no. Stun is good onto Kabam. Not going to hit the best, so he'll be straight. The rest of TSM finds the exit.
TSM, though, after grabbing that tower and a couple blood, Snoopy, he smells it. He's looking for it. He's going to stun it out, but the best going to ult just in time, making him CC immune. And Snoopy can't find the stun because of that. But, I mean, he forced it out for a blink. That's completely worth in his book.
Completely worth in my book as well. That's a great opportunity right there coming out from Snoopy. We'll check in with the dual lane Kali. He's got boots online as well as an Ikeval being built right now.
Already.
Is a crit item. So normally out of these Kalis, we see a lot of penetration. We see multiple builds, but we see a lot of penetration builds. We see a lot of attack speed into chin size builds. Not too much on the crit side of things. Kevin, talk to me about this build.
Crit's normally looked at later into the game. You'll pick it up when, and it's kind of an option. Do I want a defensive item or do I want to add more damage? Do I want the crit? Do I want that RNG to potentially find my target and lock in a kill? But Snoopy electing that he has enough penetration in his build and enough attack speed. But Ionic, though, called out a little bit. Boosh is here to support him, stunning out Kabam and Aurora. Gar is super deep as well, taking a lot of poke. Meerkat's rotated over this fight. Divio's teleporting in. But it doesn't look like Cog's going to be able to find anything very aggressive in that mid lane, though.
Cognitive Gaming here. Down but not out. 2,000 gold. Their senior is Team SoloMid. Up a kill as well. But as we approach the 17th minute mark, Cognitive still very much in this game. It is the first of a 2-game set, so Cognitive still have their minds clear. And as I said, they're down but not out. They've suffered a couple of losses, but they've also gained a lot of wins. Aurora
this
being
is bad.
focused. Blink in from Ionic, only going to catch Aurora. Can the rest of Cognitive Gaming convert?
Best, he's going to teleport his team in there in the back line, though. Meerkat does find Ionic. The Best, he's low, but he's caught between most of Team SoloMid. Can he get to his portal in time? He gets stunned out, but he just barely gets through it. Great beats coming out from him. Divios, though, he's going to pick up a kill. DJ returns onto the Boosh, and that's just going to be a 2-for-1, but in favor of Cognitive Gaming. That looked like a great fight for TSM. DJ Pernicus and the Best had rotated to left lane to pick up that stolen red buff, but in the meantime, Best was able to teleport DJ into the fight. I believe that was a bait that Cog was planning. And Aurora, he got ganged up on. 4-man Wrath of Terror in response. Really split Team SoloMid.
Yeah, and a lot of it was, unfortunately for Ionic, only one person caught in the ultimate, and it was, as you said, the Sylvanus. So when everybody collapsed on Aurora to take him down, the Wrath of Terror was able to disrupt for just long enough for Cognitive to be able to make the response. That evens up the kills 4-4. Team SoloMid still leading by just over 1,000 gold, but that is very as close to a tie as you can get.
Yep, Divios rotating back to the solo lane. He did find himself a kill in that team fight, very important for him, but Meerkat also able to pick something up. Divios right now, 1,000 gold lead directly onto Meerkat, so he's going to be able to finish that teleport 3 early and start into some big damage and defensive items. You can see he finished Runeforged, going for another hammer here, likely to be Jotun's. Grab some CDR and some penetration.
Kali build, the Rage Blade is online. That's pretty much what I expected as far as the crit items are concerned. A large part of that has to do with the way Kali is built. The reason people like Chin Size on her, she's a chainsaw character. She'll attack 4 times in the time that most people attack twice, so that'll stack up the Rage passive so much more.
I believe the thing for Kali right now is that it's going to be hard for her to stick to her targets. There's so much mobility coming out from Cog. I mean, Meerkat, he's going to be able to build block stacks. DJ Pernicus has Deathbane and also Ambush to get away. Best has multiple portals. Aurora, his passive actually roots melee targets in place that are auto-attacking him. There's a percentage chance to do that. And the Kabam also has a dash away. So there's a lot of mobility on Cog.
That's why we see the blink. So what happens is you'll see the Kali blink in, and then when those abilities are used, she'll jump to continue chase. Whether or not she keeps up is a different story. That's why we see a lot of Fatalises built.
Yeah, and that's why we see the crit too, I believe, that when she hits, she wants to make sure the autos she gets off are important.
Go for the big one.
Yep. Ionic trying to catch out Aurora here as Snoopy's going to start up the Gold Fury by himself. DJ Pernicus is going to back out of this.
No lifesteal on Kali. It's all right, though, with the rest of Team SoloMid here. The Gold Fury should go down rather fast. This is going to be the second Gold Fury of the game. Team SoloMid are going to release it, though, because Cognitive Gaming has shown up. 3 members, 4 members, 5 members deep, taking different routes here. So TSM a little bit more timid than they might have been last time. They got the sneak Gold Fury earlier. Don't think they're going to sneak it this time. DJ Pernicus already on the other side.
And right now, Cog just trying to do some poke. They do have Aurora to heal up any return poke they take. Aurora being very aggressive, going to miss that pool. Ionic blinks into the back line. Aurora finds 3 in the air, and it looks like both teams want to disengage, but Gars takes to the sky.
Ionic stunned out just a little bit. Snoopy will fall eventually if that ultimate doesn't last long enough, and it doesn't. DJ Pernicus gets credit for it, but Snoopy does walk away to avoid spreading it to the team. Boosh is very low. Best puts Ionic in the ground. Kabam picks up 2 off of the low boosh and Degars. Divios all alone, but Cognitive Gaming coming up in spades on this fight. 0 traded for 4. The gold tree that was previously started by Team SoloMid. Well, Cog's going to look at it, and there's no chance that Divios takes this. In fact, Team SoloMid will put him in the ground. DJ Pernicus gets another kill. 5-0-3 for Cognitive's jungler.
Fantastic fight for Cog. They didn't lose a single member, and now they're going to be able to siege down this middle tower.
Wow.
A delayed or a deicide coming out, and Team SoloMid, that was not a good fight. They got 2 spread out. They didn't have good targets, and Snoopy had 0 impact. And right now, DJ Pernicus is focusing him out. He actually even threw the last breath on him. So even if Snoopy was able to find his target, he would not have been able to heal off of it. And when he would have fallen immediately after. Kabam, fantastic positioning. And Darkest of Nights played a big part in that. Once the fight broke out, Team SoloMid...
Ionic couldn't do anything.
He didn't.
He was stunned.
It's so hard. Once Darkest Nights comes out, especially in the middle of the team fight, if your team is really reliant on calls, on targets to go on, it gets very confusing.
I mean, there's a very tangible effect of the Xbalanque ultimate, which is, well, if you're moving at the end of it, you're going to get stunned. But then there's that hard to value, that you know it's valuable, but it's hard to put a number value on it in the sense that nobody can really see anything. All of this planning that you did for the team fight has gone out of the window, and meanwhile, your opponent can do whatever they want.
Yes. Cog, though, they've taken the lead. They've now extended it to about 2,000 gold.
A large part of that fight for me, though, was Aurora. You saw the initiation come in from Team SoloMid, and Aurora, you mentioned how aggressive he was, how pushed up. He Wrath of Terror the team. So there was just... everybody was blind, and then as soon as they were unblind, everybody was in the air. Nobody really knew what was going on, and the whole time that everybody was either crowd-controlled or blind, Cognitive Gaming was doing whatever they wanted.
It was the counter supports, right?
Yep.
So what we see from a lot of supports is one support blinks in, which was noticeably Ionic. He gets stunned out, can't hit a big Cataclysm. Aurora walks to the back line of TSM, 3 up in the air, and then Ionic's just caught out fighting while Aurora's at least fine for the moment.
So, great execution coming out from Cognitive Gaming there to go ahead and push their kill lead 9-4. Team SoloMid, one of the top teams, sporting a 5-1 win-loss record. Quite the opposite, a 1-5 for Cognitive. Cognitive looking very good.
This free FP week has not turned out to be so free.
Very, very true. I knew it from the day from Wednesday, which is when Esports Weekly Live airs. Hinduman said that, and I said, uh-oh. Just because you said it, everything's going to go awry, and awry it has been, and it's exciting. I love to see some of the, because, I mean, realistically speaking, Kevin, this is week 3 of the fall split. Week 1, we have a lot of new teams, not quite gelled yet, right? Week 2, still not there yet. Week 3, we're starting to see these wheels turning, and I mean, this is the result. We get to see Elevate, you know, almost take a game off playing well. We get to see this team, Cognitive Gaming, they're in the lead on Team SoloMid.
They're looking strong. Game is not over yet, though.
Sure.
And they do have a Kali and a Geb online.
Ooh.
That Geb is going to be pretty valuable in protecting Kali and allowing Snoopy to really mow down the team, snowball it out of control, if he can find his target. But like I said earlier, Cog also a lot of mobility. It's going to be hard to lock them down.
The Kali reminder, I think, is really what you're nailing right there. I don't want to say I forgot about it, but this is totally fine for Team SoloMid. Kali is a character, I mean, it's Freya plus. Freya starts to come online sort of in the mid-game once you get 3 items online. Kali wants to really wait until the depths of the game before she becomes an absolute terror.
There's 2 gods that I consider not necessarily comeback gods, but when you're behind, as long as they can find a kill in certain situations, they can just win team fights flat. Kali's one,
Kronos?
Scylla is the other.
Okay.
Where if you hit an I'm a Monster and get a kill, and you get a reset, you're almost guaranteed to win the fight if you can hit someone else. DJ Pernicus getting caught out, being very aggressive. Ambushes. Can Snoopy catch up to her? It looks like DJ just a little bit too fast, and the Darkest of Nights is definitely going to stop any
I think Snoopy might have been able
fight.
to catch up, but Kabam pulling the trigger at the right time, going to deter any more aggression coming out from Team SoloMid. They remember the last time that ultimate was used, and they don't want another 0-for-4 going in the opposite direction than they'd like to see. So I'm going to hit the brakes right there is TSM. They're going to go ahead and pull back. So, I mean, come with me here. 3,000 gold in the way of Team SoloMid, but with the Kali.
Where are we going?
Well, travel with me. A lot of times when teams get Fire Giant and they're down 2,000 or 3,000 gold, we'll essentially call that a tie. With Kali in the wings waiting to come online, is this 3,000 gold a tie right now?
I mean, not. I still give Cog the lead for now,
Sure.
especially because Serqet just got her second. I'm looking at the goal difference in the items, right? Like, with that 3,000 gold, what do they have ahead?
What are you doing
Looking
with
at
it?
junglers, right now Serqet has 2 crit items online at 26 minutes. Bellona, just finishing Heavy Hammer, is on par with Divios because Divios did have a big lead over in that solo lane early on.
Right.
Mid lane, Janus about to finish his Tahuti. When that comes online, that's the lead. Snoopy, though, he's going to get aggressive on a Pernicus. And actually, DJ Pernicus...
A lot of damage coming out from Pern, and I mean, this right here, this
he
4-item
caught
build,
it.
Pernicus with the Gars, Ionic, gonna blink in, but not hit what he wanted. I talk a lot. We see a lot of Serqet, and whenever I'm on the desk, I talk a lot about how I want to see the items. Serqet is item-based. Items, Deathbringer. This 4-item build, Boots, Jotuns, Deathbringer, and Malice, this is the on-switch. Serqet is Serqet now. So what can DJ do? And I mean, well, he's 5-0-3. He's doing it.
Best, gonna get ganked, sitting at 1 health, but we do have Gars in the air. Can he find the best? Not gonna in time. He's gonna look to lock down Aurora instead. 4 members, Roman and Victor over the top though. Meerkat doing a ton of damage. Kabom's rotated to this team fight. Ionic just trying to get everyone out. Divios, he's manning up. He's trying to find DJ in the back line. I don't know if he's gonna be able to do it. They're chasing him down. DJ, too much movement. They do manage to lock down Ionic. Snoopy is rotated. He's gonna have to pop destruction real early. And just 1 kill, but that could have turned much worse for TSM.
Loved what Divios did right there. Didn't have to get the kill on DJ Pernicus necessarily. Just get the Serqet the hell out of here. She's got the Death Bane. She's got 2 crit items online. She can zigzag through and do tons of damage. Just chase her out. Kills be damned. It's just about getting that assassin out of there. Divios does it successfully. Unfortunately for him and his team, though, Cognitive Gaming create enough space on the left side of the map with the kills, with the 2 kills that they just gained, to be able to pick up the Gold Fury, no problem. And that'll push them even further into the lead. 3 + 2, you're looking at a 5,000 gold lead, 6 kills up above one of the top teams in North America.
3 + 2 is 5.
That's the insight to how I do that.
Gar's being very aggressive. Meerkat just trying to secure those mid camps. Meerkat already under half. His ultimate is available, but actually he's going to turn around. Roman and Victor on 2.
And here comes the best right through the wall. Going to clear up the jungler, Gars. Nothing to talk about. He's down for the count. DJ Pernicus continuing chase. He'll be stunned in the ambush. Beats out, and because of that, Boosh will deter any more chase from DJ for the moment, but he continues. Divios has last breath on him right now.
Everyone's
That's not a
so
decoy.
low.
He's going to fall, and Best gets another one.
Snoopy, he's going to blink in, trying to find Meerkat, but Meerkat managed to get out. TSM, they're real low, but Snoopy, the bleed will finish him off. Ionic, he's rolling out there looking for Kabom. Kabom, one more hit. He's going to get stunned out by the Boosh, but Kabom turns it around on him. Snoopy, he's going to pop his ult. He'll find the kill. He's so low, though. Is Best his target? That's the question. He needs a crit. If he could get a crit, he could actually turn this around here, but it's going to be the Best finding the kill. That's going to be a 4 for 2, but in favor of Cog.
And Best picks up 3 in that sequence, all disjointed, not quite a triple kill, but 3 in a row, enough to make him look great. 405, quickly turning around that slash line. Cognitive Gaming, Kevin. This team has come out to play today.
TSN, they're fighting into it right now. They're definitely on their heels. Snoopy does manage to get 2 kills in that engagement, though, and now his target is the Best. If he can lock him down in a team fight, or at the very least, that's almost... It's good and bad at the same time, right? Your target's Janus.
That's...
His mobility is the one you don't want to deal with. It's going to be very hard to lock him down unless the Best gets out of position. Cog's going to recognize this too. I expect them to be all hands on deck trying to defend the Best, especially when Snoopy enters the team fight.
I see why you opened that with as good and bad. I mean, it's a mage. Yum, squishy, tasty. But for me, Janus is one of the most slippery characters in the game, and it's funny, Divios is up on top. He's 1-3-2, but his player damage is through the roof, and a lot of that, I mean, it's that quote-unquote fake solo lane damage, but He's done a lot to push out players during these team fights.
He's been a big disruptance to the backline of COG. Just in all this damage, like you said, it's not fake damage necessarily, but it's not enough burst to lock down the targets he needs to.
Exactly.
So he forces them out of the fights, but he doesn't find the kills, and that's what's important. Is COG is winning these fights, but also having players remain alive, allowing them to keep up their farm.
Divios in the solo lane. Meerkat and DJ Pernicus are here as well. All of a sudden, the rest of Cognitive Gaming has made an appearance. Team SoloMid, it's just Divios, Boosh, and Ionic here, though, in the solo lane. Blinking away is some of Cognitive Gaming. There's some trouble on the left-hand side.
Can he get the auto off? I don't think he did. He didn't get it off in time, and it looks like Gars is just barely going to be able to get out of there.
Gars, you can see a sliver of HP on that Thor. He'll be able to get out, but Snoopy cleans up DJ Pernicus. That's a really big look for TSM because that evens up the fight 4-4. Meerkat by himself, it's 4-1 as the rest of COG a little bit behind, so unable to really provide a triage. But Cognitive, despite a slight misstep there, still doubling the kills of their opponent.
TSM, they're grouped up around Fire Giant, but it's not anything they're looking at. They're too far behind, and basically COG is all up. They're not going to be able to grab it. Right now, grouped as 5, they're sieging up mid lane. Maybe looking to either get a pick so they can take the tower or see if they could slowly peel it down. But they don't have a hunter, so anyone who's going to be in there is going to have to be melee. Blink it by Ionic, though. Divios going deep, too.
Ionic goes ahead and grabs 2, but a great knock-up coming out from Aurora might be enough for Cognitive to turn it around. Meerkat throwing out the Scourge, looking very, very good, and it's enough to push Team SoloMid off of the tower. Not quite a kill as Meerkat getting very, very low. Divios kills out the best, and now the fight is on. Aurora picks up 1, but Snoopy immediately responds, picks up another one, says Snoopy, as Meerkat falls to the wayside. Booch very, very low. Pern will get the kill, despite the Geb shield. Doesn't matter, says the jungler. Aurora cleans up Ionic. That is
What's the
a
cooldown?
3-for-3 engagement. 2 people remain on each team.
Aurora, he's actually going to be chasing down Gars there. Snoopy as well, going to have to get out of this. What looked like a very good fight for TSM. They dive a little bit too deep. I mean, Ionic died to a tower shot. So TSM, they were looking for kills, but they didn't properly tank the tower, it seems. They didn't even get the tower, and they're going to fall. And
that's why you fight on the tower.
That's an even. I mean, that's an even trade. That's a good look for COG, especially when they were down a man at the start of it.
Exactly. It's an even trade, as you said, but it's an even trade on the defense side. So it was Team SoloMid's idea to go ahead and go in, and Cognitive Gaming says no. I always like that as far as momentum is concerned. You got to stop. Cognitive had a plan, and you completely shut down the plan. And I mean, that's why you fight under these towers instead of in the lane or in the jungle. It essentially became a 6-on-5. Ionic suffering a death to the 6th player.
Aurora caught out, but it looks like a bait. DJ Pernicus is here. All 5 members of COG is here. Gars just trying to get out. Snoopy, he's solo too. Meerkat, he's looking for the kill, and Snoopy's gonna fall.
Divios' ultimate is already down very, very early on in this engagement. And the rest of Cognitive Gaming will group up for the heal from Aurora. I love the discipline. The discipline of COG to just group up and then spread back out looks very, very clean.
They're looking for more, though. Blink in, Wrath of Terror on the 3 remaining members of TSM. And then Divios actually pulled into the team. DJ Pernicus taking a ton of damage from the Boosh, though. Meerkat, he's looking for Boosh. Geb Shield going to keep him alive for now. Kabomb. He's starting to hit big. Crits online. Divios, one more hit. He should fall. Divios will be taken out.
Meerkat low.
Trying to find Meerkat. Meerkat, though, he's going to be fine. And Gars, now, he's looking like he's frustrated.
Here comes
Shield going to keep him alive.
Great support coming out from the young Thor. There he is, gonna get away! Aurora says no! Pulled right through the wall! Best hits him with the ultimate. Kabam ultimately gets the kill. Fantastic play by the guys on Cognitive Gaming, making sure to be aware and awake just in case Aurora gets that pull he's been trying to get all game, and he nails it. Cognitive will go for the stuff after the stuff and go for the Fire Giant.
Boosh is rotating in. Meerkat's pretty low. He's likely to fall if Boosh can find the bombs over the wall. There's the first one. Roman and Victor going to keep him alive. COG, they secure the Fire Giant, but Meerkat does fall in return.
So he's down for a full minute, but Fire Giant is on a late game Xbalanque, a late game Serqet, and a late game it's on a Sylvanus, but I'm looking more at the Janus.
Everyone's late game right now. I mean, everyone's chunking real hard.
I'm looking more at the Janus.
Gars, he's going to walk over and see Gold Fury already completed it right now. Cognitive Gaming up 8,000 gold. Experience doesn't really matter. Everyone's level 20. TSM, though, they actually teleport into this world. They're looking to be aggressive here. Cog, they're not going to be caught lazy backing, though.
Team SoloMid looks like they have no problem fighting the Fire Giant team. I don't know if that's such a wise decision, and they think about it as well, so they'll go ahead and back off, no problem. Divios will be pushing up this left-hand lane along with Snoopy. See if they can get a tower without causing too much grief. But Best and Kabam able to provide some triage here. Wow, wave just cleared. Yeah, it's 36 minutes in.
It is. It doesn't feel like it either. It feels like this game has been going on for a much shorter time, but a very high action game. Builds
20 to
starting
11.
to be completed.
Yeah.
Yep. Build starting to be completed. I really like what Aurora's gone for in his build. There's a lot of times you'll see support start to pick up a lot of utility items with CDR and stuff in it. You take a look at Ionic, right? He's gone Breastplate and he's gone Winged Blade. He's looking for that CDR, but that doesn't give him as much health and protections that he would normally have. You take a look at Aurora, who's been a big focus. TSM, a lot of fights have invested so much into locking him down, but he's had Spirit Robe online for at least 15 minutes, and now he's got the Lotus Crown, and he just finished Midgardian Mail. I mean, Aurora's sitting on, you can even see it right there, 3,100 health and an absurd amount of protections on both ends, plus 10% damage reduction every time he's stunned.
Wow. Yeah, Aurora going to be a large bastion of defense for the rest of his team, Cognitive Gaming, and especially what he's doing is he's putting himself in the thick of it and then unleashing the Wrath of Terra. So really wanting to be in the middle of everything, the build works out.
Just looking for the
uses
tower.
The ultimate just to push the enemy off, and free tier 2 for Cognitive Gaming.
I really think Cog is going to respect TSM here and look to just get the towers.
I agree.
And
There's no reason not to.
I think that's a good idea too. Get the free gold. You'll still have time to have Fire Giant push up all the waves and force TSM to split their decision. Don't allow them to 5v5 you at one point. And you can even see DJ, he's already rotating over to put some pressure on this right lane.
Yeah, likely we'll see the split push come out from the Assassin on the right with the rest of the team showing up in the middle lane. Team SoloMid, pings coming out onto the grouping in the mid lane. Snoopy will make the rotation over, so it's going to be Snoopy versus DJ. We'll see if DJ takes the fight against the Kali. Kali going to blink in onto DJ. Damage is good from the Deathbane. DJ getting crit a lot.
What's going to end first? Destruction or the Last Breath?
Last Breath!
Going to be Destruction, Last Breath. That's going to be the one. And a blink in by Aurora in the mid lane. He finds 3, knocked up. Meerkat, he's following up. And now Divios, he's caught in place. The boost falls to the Best. Cognitive Gaming, they've already picked 2. Divios is super deep in the fight, too. He's forced to ult very early, and it's unlikely that he's able to pick up a kill. He actually, I think, commits suicide. Best, he should be able to pick this up. It's actually going to be DJ finding the kill, and right now, 3 dead for Team SoloMid. This is a free Phoenix.
3 dead for a long time. This is a Phoenix.
They could push in. They have enough heals.
That's what I want to see. I want to see, and they will. Cognitive Gaming are going to go ahead and push onto the Titan. Only 2 members of Team SoloMid are here to play defense. Chaos Titan, 75. Chaos Titan, 50%. Chaos Titan staying around 50 as Gars picks up the kill onto Meerkat. Chaos Titan down to 25%. Ionic and Gars here to provide some damage, but the Titan will fall anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, Team SoloMid falls to Cognitive Gaming.
Justice defeats Titan. Cog defeats TSM. It's not free FP week, boys. It's the week of upsets so far, and a very competitive Game 1. Game 2 is sure to be just as exciting. The fights, though, they were just Team SoloMid engaging a lot of times, especially in the mid game, but not able to lock down the targets, investing a lot into Aurora, I saw.
Right.
And Snoopy also, I don't think the Kali pick worked out too much for him.
It really didn't, and a large part of that was because of who we're looking at right here. DJ Pernicus will eventually seal the deal onto Divios for the first blood. A large part of that had to do with DJ just showing up in the lane and saying, all right, if you're going to be melee, you're going to have to deal with my Cobra's Kiss and my Deathbane. And, you know, I think that last fight at the end where it was just one-on-one, assassin versus assassin, DJ just came up on top.
Yeah, and I mean, the interaction there also is Kali, she's looking for her, not her destruction, but she's looking to kill a target and heal up to full if it's her mark. And DJ really outplayed Snoopy there because not only does Last Breath take just that half a second longer, but also 100% healing reduction, which means the 15% that you normally get when Kali ult ends isn't there.
not just off of that kill, but off of the entire game. DJ Pernicus will be your player of the game coming out of the jungle for Cognitive Gaming, starting very, very early and going all the way till the buzzer. Very, very fun stuff, honestly, coming out of Pernicus. This Serqet was a pleasure to watch.
I mean, all of COG, they played great. And Meerkat, while not reflected in the numbers, I think he is the one that I respected most in this game. There's so many times where he's sitting in these fights at such low life, but not only does he trust his team, but he understands the damage output of the opponents. He knows what he can get away with. Meerkat, I believe he's always, I've said it since I saw him in the spring split, actually since the North American regionals. He has it in him to be a top-tier solo laner. He hasn't made it yet, but sometimes he just has phenomenal games like this one. And if he can keep this up, he can actually start being in contention for it, in my opinion.